Hello Aro, how are you? I'm going to read you one of your favorite books, Finding Nemo. Hope you will enjoy it. At the edge of Australia's Great Barrier Reef, two clownfish parents were waiting for their babies to hatch. The baby's mother, Coral, suggested to her husband Marlin a new baby name. I like Nemo. Suddenly, a barracuda appeared. Marlin rushed to protect his wife, but the barracuda's tail knocked him unconscious. When Marlin awoke, Coral was gone, and he could only find one tiny egg, injured but still alive. He took the egg in his fins and said softly, I promise I will never let anything happen to you, Nemo. Marlin became very protective of his son, especially since Nemo had a lucky fin that made him an awkward swimmer. On Nemo's first day of school, Marlin worried that Nemo might still be too young. But Nemo was so excited that he convinced his dad he was ready to start school. Are you ready to start school, Aro? Next year you will go to school? And Anish, if you are listening, you will also go to school soon. At school, Nemo and the other kids climbed onto the back of their teacher, Mr. Ray, and set off on a field trip. When they arrived at the drop off, Nemo and his new friends Tad, Sheldon, and Pearl wandered off. They spotted a dive boat anchored overhead, and Tad dared Nemo to swim out to it. Come on, Nemo, how far can you go? Tad taunted. Just then, Marlin arrived in a panic to check on his son. He was worried about his son. When he saw that Nemo was about to swim into the open water, he shouted at him to return. You just can't do these things, Marlin scolded. But Nemo swam to the boat and defiantly hit it with his fin. Suddenly, as Marlin watched, a diver captured Nemo. Marlin swam after the diver, but he just couldn't catch up. As the boat sped away, a scuba mask fell over the side. A terrified Marlin began asking everyone he saw if they had seen a boat. A regal blue tang named, do you know the name, Aro? A regal blue tang named Dory told him she had and that she would help him find his son. But Dory suffered from short-term memory loss and couldn't actually remember where the boat went. Meanwhile, Nemo was dropped into unfamiliar waters. He was in a fish tank in a dentist's office. Slowly, several strange fish emerged from behind plastic plants. They were excited to meet Nemo. The tank gang soon decided to welcome Nemo into their group and nicknamed him Shark Bait. Back in the depths of the ocean, Marlin suddenly spotted the mask the diver had lost. What do these markings mean? Marlin asked Dory. I can't read human, but Dory could. She read the mask which said P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. They finally knew where to find Nemo. Nemo was in Sydney, Aro. And Anish, this is where you two were born. Marlin and Dory had started towards Sydney when they came upon a trench. An entire forest of stinging jellyfish floated above the trench. Marlin raced with Dory, bouncing on the tops of the jellyfish. But Dory got tangled in the tentacles and Marlin had to save her. By the time he made it to clear water, both he and Dory had been stung so many times they fainted. Fortunately, some passing sea turtles rescued Marlin and Dory. Marlin told the baby turtles about Nemo's capture and his long journey to find his son. Soon Marlin's story was being passed from turtle to fish to dolphin to seagull to Nigel the pelican. Nigel was a friend of the Tang gang. He flew to the dentist's office and told Nemo his father was looking for him. Nemo decided that if his dad was brave enough to rescue him, then he was brave enough to escape. Nemo darted into the tank's filter tube and jammed a pebble into the blades. With the filter broken, the dentist would have to remove the fish and put them in plastic bags to clean the tank. The fish could then roll themselves out the window to freedom. However, the next morning, The tank gang discovered that the dentist had just installed a new filter and the tank was already clean. The escape plan was ruined. Marlin and Dory swam and swam. Dory tried to ask a whale for directions, but all of a sudden she and Marlin were drawn into its huge mouth. After Dory told the whale they needed to get to Sydney, the whale surfaced and spouted Marlin and Dory out into Sydney Harbour. Nigel spotted the two fish, and when he understood who they were, he scooped them up and took them straight to Nemo. Before Marlin could get there, the dentist took Nemo out of the tank and put him in a plastic bag to give his niece Darla. Darla burst into the room, but Nemo was playing dead in the plastic bag. Just then Nigel showed up on the window ledge. Marlin peered out of Nigel's mouth and saw Nemo floating upside down. The dentist pushed Nigel back outside and shut the window. "Fishy!" screamed Darla. She picked up Nemo's bag and shook it. To distract Darla, the tank gang launched Gil onto Darla's head. She let go of the bag. Nemo fell out and landed on the dental tray. He flipped beside Nemo and smacked his tail onto the dental mirror, causing Nemo to fly into the sink. Nemo escaped down the drain. Marlin was heartbroken. He thought Nemo was dead. He told Dory he wanted to be alone and swam off. Meanwhile, Nemo rushed out of the drain pipe and into the harbor. He called out for his dad. Dory heard Nemo's call and remembered who he was. She quickly led Nemo in the direction Marlin had gone. When Marlin heard Nemo call out to him, he turned and saw his son. The two fish were happily reunited. A few weeks later, Marlin and Nemo raced to school. They were happy to be home and loved telling all the friends about their adventures. But in Sydney Harbour, back in Sydney Harbour, the tank gang finally made their escape. Now only one problem remained. How would they get out of those bags? You see, they are all in the bags. So that's the story of Finding Nemo. And remember, like Marlin loved his son Nemo, Papa loves Aro and Anish. Bye.